Hello, callers. Welcome back to Viva Barca and welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to be discussing on the latest developing stories. We start with Sergiño Dest, as it have been reported that Barcelona might have to settle for loaning out of favored youngster amid lack of offers. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Then, secondly, talking about Ace Abde, who, of course, the Barca youngster wins the Golden Boot at the Under 23 Africa Cup of Nations that just concluded. We are also going to be discussing on that. So, guys, as we get right into the full stories, please do ensure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. Even as Barcelona look to get rid of the dead wood from the squad, they are encountering a lot of difficulties. Some players are reluctant to leave, while some others' wages are too high for interested clubs, while a few have no suitors at all. Sergiño Dest is among those who the Blaugrana wish to offload this summer, but are facing complications in doing so. Indeed, according to Mundo Deportivo, Barcelona wish to transfer Dest permanently from the club, but are facing difficulties in finding suitors who are willing to pay a fee for him. As such, the La Liga champions might now have to settle on loaning out the US men's national team international once again this summer. Dest arrived at Barcelona in the summer of 2020, joining from Ajax in a deal worth around 20 million euros. The right back never got going at the club, and after a couple of subpar seasons, he was shipped off to AC Milan on loan last summer. But the 22-year-old endured yet another disappointing campaign in Italy as he barely played for the Rossoneri. The Serie A giants decided against activating the 20 million euro purchase option on the right back, leaving him to return to Barcelona. However, Dest has no place in Xavi's plans at the moment, and the situation is unlikely to change as the Blaugrana have Jules Koundé and Sergio Roberto as options, while they are also working on signing Ivan Fresneda from Real Valladolid. So, naturally, the Catalans wish to offload Dest, that too permanently, in the hope to generate some revenue from his departure, but as things stand, there are not many clubs willing to pay a transfer fee for him. As such, the club may have to make do with loaning him out again. Of course, Sergiño Dest has been one of the players that have been on loan at Barcelona, and he was so poor in his loan spell there, as he hardly featured in games, and it was no surprise that AC Milan decided to let go of the player to return to his parent club, Barca. And also, Barca have been looking for suitors for Sergiño Dest, but to no avail as they are trying to cash in on him. And now they are saying that if Barca fails to look for interested parties for the player, then they will only push for a loan deal. Of course, we know Xavi Hernandez have never been a fan of the right back since he came as manager. Last season, we saw him not even including Dest in his roster in the first game of the season, and that already is, of course, indirectly telling the player that he's not part of his plans, and that will not even change, especially as the player even went on loan and failed to convince the club and the manager that he can be counted upon this season. So as it stands right now, Dest has no future at all at the club, and also Barca being in a situation where they have to sell players in order to balance the books and also to buy players in order to ensure that the transfer window should become a success, are really willing to get rid of players out of their wage books. Players, especially players who were out on loan, like Dest, like Lenglet. Those players are all players that Barca want to sell. I think the only player who was on loan last time and is still considered to be part of the team next season will be Ace Abde. Abde greatly impressed at his club at Osasuna, and the club is seriously considering in keeping him. Apart from that, the rest of the players are players who are open to be sold, but so far Barca haven't sold them. Players are still refusing that they don't want to leave the club. Sergiño Dest is a right back. Even though Barca are in need of a right back, Jules Koundé would better take over the role, as Xavi prefers Koundé 10 times to Sergiño Dest. Dest have failed to improve. Dest have failed to impress even in his loan spell. And so there's a very slim chance that Sergiño Dest will stay at Barca. So Barcelona are open to all options because right now they are considering of loaning the player out if they fail to sell him permanently. Of course, the player's market value has considerably gone down, and Barca will not be expecting so much for the player, knowing fully well that he failed to make an impression last time out when he was in Italy at AC Milan. So as it stands right now, Barcelona are struggling to get rid of their out of favor players. But so far it haven't been an easy task, as majority of those players are saying they are not in favor of leaving the club. So as it stands right now, the new signings that Barca have announced haven't been officially registered, and that is where there's a big problem. Registration has been an issue, so Barcelona need to get rid as soon as possible of these players so that they can register their new signings as well. Then moving on to the final story of discussion, Ace Abde has been one of the Barcelona's rising stars over the past 12 months. Although the forward did not actually play for Barca this past season, his performances on loan at CA Osasuna have made him one of the sought-after prospects in African football. Abde was indeed involved in 8 goals for Osasuna this past season, even helping the Pamplona outfit reach the final of the Copa del Rey. He was also a part of the Morocco team that reached the semi-finals of the 2022 FIFA World Cup last year. To that end, Abde has managed to continue in blazing form this summer, having emerged as a top performer in the recently concluded Under-23 Africa Cup of Nations. As the captain of the team, the Barcelona youngster helped Morocco side secure the prestigious tournament as they beat Egypt 2-1 at extra time in the final. Abde won the Golden Boot after scoring 3 goals in 4 matches. He also was a top assister of the tournament, having racked up 3 assists. He notably assisted a winning goal in the final against Egypt. Ace Abde's blazing performances in the Under-23 Africa Cup of Nations could be a massive boost for Barca. The Catalans have been contemplating signing a new forward this summer, but the young Moroccan could prove to be an excellent in-house enforcement. Alternatively, Abde could fetch a significant price in the market thanks to his performances over the past year or so. Barca have reportedly received 2 offers for the young forward, and one would expect his sale could revitalize the club's ailing finances this summer. In the meantime, though, Abde will look to return to Camp Nou and become a part of the pre-season training camp. The final verdict on his future will likely be given by Xavi after Barcelona coach assesses his performances. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.